Alright, so this video is going to be different from what I normally do, in that normally I'm reading stories and trying to pass along the gift of literature in a way, but this video is going to kind of revert back to what my first video I ever put up was, and that was giving advice for college. Although this time I'm taking a stand, because lately I've seen a lot of people on social media post pictures or quotes or sayings that have to do with religion. And I'll see an agnostic or an atheist comment on these pictures and not being disrespectful, but they'll say, why do you believe in this? Or what pushes you to believe that? And these religious followers will just completely bash and trash these agnostics and atheists for being non-believers, and they'll do this without hearing their side of the story, when I just don't see how those who are religious can proselytize and tell what they believe but not give the other side a chance to tell that what they think. And it just makes no sense to me, and this is hopefully whoever sees this can kind of understand a little bit more what people from the other side are thinking, because well, when it comes down to religion, most of the people who know me, like if my friends see this, they'll know that I always try to avoid the topic of religion, because the people who know me wouldn't talk to me if they knew what I believed. And I grew up outside of Kansas City, and up around Kansas, life was different than it is here in Mississippi, where I live now, when it comes to religion. Down south, everyone is really essentially brought up in a church or has been taught the Bible and its message. But in Kansas, not everyone does that. Like, you went to church and had your beliefs, or you didn't. That was kind of it. Everything was fine. No one ever had any animosity towards the other side. And uh, I personally grew up in a family full of scientists and nurses and doctors and whatnot. So science has always been a big part of my life. And I've always been obsessed with stars and celestial beings and what they are, or where they are, and how they got there. So when I was first taught the Big Bang Theory, it just struck a chord with me. It made sense, and I loved it. I became obsessed with it. And whenever I moved down here and would talk about that, uh, people would look at me funny, and they'd be like, all right, well, although you believe in science and you aren't a creationist, you still believe in God, right? And what the Bible tells. And I, I, I had never been to church, so I didn't know how to respond to that. So when I moved here in middle school, uh, I had no friends. I was really a loser, and I was just the weird kid from Kansas that no one talked to. And I saw that everyone who went to church had their own little cliques, their own little groups that they belonged in, and they go to Bible study, and they were all happy in what they believed and everything, and had all these great friends. I thought, maybe, if I gave that a try, maybe I could finally meet some people. And I remember one day in middle school being given a Bible, and I read through it, and I tried to see if that's where I belonged. But the more I read into it, the more I didn't understand it at all. I understand the context and where it was coming from, but I didn't agree with it. I, as a work of literature, the Bible's fascinating. And there's a reason it's the number one selling piece of literature in the world. But I'd read through it and go through the context and think, well, this directly contradicts with what this is saying. Or if this passage is saying, we need to be kind to all these people, why is this one telling that we need to kill people? It just didn't make sense to me. But I eventually gave up attempting to find a faith, and I labeled myself as an agnostic, and I was in the middle. I didn't know what to believe. I didn't know if there was a God or was there not. I had no clue. And it wasn't until my junior year of high school that I was finally pushed away from religion for good, and I was no longer afraid to be pushed away. Uh, that year, that was 2011, uh, I became friends with a foreign exchange student. I won't say names or anything, but she was from Italy, and I became good friends with her and one of her the host family that she was staying with, and we got to be good friends. We hung out all the time, and things were fantastic. They were good, kind-hearted people, and I loved them to death, and they deserved all the happiness in the world. But in May of 2011, they were killed in a car accident, and I was devastated by this. These were my two best friends, and all of a sudden they were gone. And every single day after the accident, I asked why. Why was it them? Why were they taken away? And the only answer that people ever gave me was that it was part of God's plan, that it was His will for them to be called home. And all I could think was that if that's His plan, I wanted nothing to do with that. No one could ever give me an answer other than that. And it struck a chord with me because they didn't deserve to die, not that soon. They were juniors and seniors in high school. They didn't deserve to go that early. They were the nicest people I'd ever met, and they were going to go far in life and probably be the most successful people I've ever met. But the only thing people ever said was that it was His plan, and I didn't like that at all. So after that, I kind of came to my senses, and that was the day I labeled myself an atheist. And that was almost 4 years ago now, or right around 4 years ago. And nobody's really ever known until now that I didn't believe in a God or anything. No one knew that I was an atheist until now. And I'm letting this story out because people need to know that just because I'm an atheist, I'm not a different person. I'm still very loving. I'm the most caring and affectionate person my friends will tell you that they've ever met. Uh, they know that I'd go to the ends of the earth for them, and I'd drop everything to be by their side through the toughest of times. And I love every single person in my life with everything I have, and nothing will ever change that. So why does being an atheist make me a bad person? That's the only question I ever really have. I'm still the same person I've always been. I'm still fun-loving, crazy, funny, and good-hearted. Just my views are different than other people's. I don't dislike Christians for their views. I don't hate what they believe in, and I love what they believe in. There's a common misconception about me and about atheists in general that we're not out to prove you wrong. I know what you believe in, and now you know what I believe. And I respect any and all religion. I absolutely love when people proselytize, and I love when they tell me what they believe in, because I want you to tell me what you believe. I want you to explain it to me, and I want you to pray for me. After all, I mean, our beliefs are all we have, and if we don't share them, then we have nothing. They mean nothing. And I'm sorry for making this video so long. I'm sure most of my audience is gone by now, but I just want to stand up for atheists because I think people need to know the other side of the story, that we're not bad people. I don't see why we can't all get along. Like, whether you believe in a god or gods or you don't believe in anything, we all have to live on this earth together. And whether you believe you'll go on to another place after death or you don't, we all need to make the most of our time here. So I just ask that we stop the anger, stop the hatred, and enjoy what little time we have, because as people who have lost someone in their lives a long time ago or recently, we all know that we aren't guaranteed tomorrow. We need to live for today. And I think my final note is, not all atheists are bad people, just like not all religious followers are bad people. Of course, both sides will have their bad eggs, but we shouldn't write people off because of the actions of those select few who go too far. I love all my friends regardless of what they believe, and they love me, and nothing will ever change that. And I hope everyone who sees this agrees with me. And that's kind of my story, and I hope this helps open the eyes of people who don't take the time to see what atheists believe or who they are. And thanks for watching the video up to this point. It means a lot that you take the time out of your day to listen to me rant for this long, but be sure to subscribe or comment below if you want me to talk about anything else, or I'll probably do a follow-up video on a few questions that I get asked. But other than that, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and take care.